Okay, so for situation 1, compute the maximum acceptable tensile service load that may act on a single section that is connected to a gasket plate using 12 inches long and as shown in the figure. Okay, it was assumed that the service live load, okay, what do you mean by service live load? Okay, the service live load, no factor, yung live load natin, is assumed to be 3 times the dead load. Using the A99 to steel, using LRFD, assuming no black shear will occur. This is true. There is no black shear will occur. Okay, this is the assumption. Okay, so given properties, we have WT 12 by 38. Again, WT12, yung 12 dito is the depth of your WT, and the 38 is the unit weight or linear meter of your unit weight in linear meter of your section. So this as a unit of pounds per feet. So ibig sabihin nito, ito ay 38 pounds per feet. Okay? And you have a gross sectional area of 11.2, a Y bar of 3.0, BF of 8.99. Okay, A99 to steel, Fy equals 50, Fu equals 65, and the assumptions of LL equals 3 times dead load. Okay, the problems in situation 1, okay, what is the governing ultimate tensile capacity based on yielding of the cross section? What is the shear log factor? What is the ultimate tensile capacity based on net fracture? And what is the maximum tensile service load? Okay, dito muna tayo sa number 1. Okay, napansin ko marami pa rin talagang hindi nakakuha nitong yielding. So, itong problem nito is plug and chug of the equations. Okay, just find Fy, what is Ag, what is P sub T. And directly meron ka ng answer. Bakit kayo nagkamali pa dito? Okay, so VTN, tension yielding, limit state, check your modules. Okay, nag-review ba kayo? You have this phi, LRFD, assuming you are using LRFD. Okay, using LRFD, so since LRFD, your phi in yielding is 0.9 and your phi in fracture is 0.75. Okay, so again, FYAG, your FY is 50 KSI, your AG is 11.2. Okay, you can get 504 kips. Okay, so direct lang yung pag-solve sa problem A. For the problem B, most of you uses this 1 minus X bar over L. Okay, this 1 minus X bar over L is not the shear log factor that will be used. Because you have welded connections. Okay, you have welds, and if you check the handouts that I've given to the class, you can see this case 4. May drawing na nga dito sa gilid. You have this example. This example is exactly the same to your quiz. Okay, that is exactly the same to your quiz. So you have this angle plates, angle channels with welds at heels at the W shapes, connected elements. Okay, you have this equation. So you will be using this equation. Okay, so using this equation, just find what is L and what is X bar. Okay, that most of you got the L and X bar. That is your X bar is 3. That is Y bar, that is 3 inches. This one, that is 3 inches, the centroidal distance. And the length of connection, L. Okay, if you check your handout, okay, open ko lang yung handout natin. Okay, designing tension member. This one, if you check your handout, kapag welded, if welded, your L is this one. Kapag the same, they have the same lengths, or simply use average. Okay, so that is why your L is 12 inches since you have 12 inches weld, and your X bar is 3 inches. That is why plugging into the equation of shear log factor, you have 1 minus 3 over 12 multiplied by 3 times 12 squared over 3 times 12 squared plus 8.99 squared. What is W? Okay, your W is the width of perpendicular to the loading direction. That is BF. That is 8.99. Okay? So kung mapapansin mo rin sa drawing, ito yung loading direction, T. Okay? Ito yung T. You have this W. Okay? So this time, ito. Okay, this one. You have this W, 3L squared plus W squared, 1 minus X squared over L. Okay? Then you have this equation for shear log factor, that is U equals to 0.632. Okay, so you have your A and B. Now, what is the tension fracture, or what is the ultimate tensile strength in fracture? Again, your P is equals to 0.75 using LRFD. Okay. Okay. So, no holes. Again, paulit-ulit ko sinabi sa lecture, kapag walang bolts, if there is no bolts, okay, take note, if there are no bolts, therefore no tensile fracture, or there is, or your AN is equals to your AG, okay? Your AN, your net area, is equals to AG, and block shear failure will not occur. This is the assumption. So you have your 0.75 times 65 times the shear log factor U times AN, which is 11.2, your AG, you get 345 kips. Okay, that is the tension fracture. Okay. Then the next problem is, what is the governing surface load? Okay, so going back to your 10 limit states na yielding and fracture. So yung yielding natin, class, you have 504 kips, and based on fracture, you have 345 kips. Okay, therefore, choosing between the two limit states, okay, we will choose the capacity, the smallest value of for the capacity. So we'll be using 345 kips for the capacity based on LRFD. Okay, so it's just simply equating the demand to the capacity. Okay, so this time, this is your capacity. So we are solving for the demand. Again, the problem states that we will be using LRFD. Okay, so therefore, we will be using LRFD load combinations for the demand. Okay, so given that dead load and live load, you have these two load combinations. You have U1, you have U2. So 1.4 times dead load, and you have 1.2 plus 1.6 live load. Okay, then plugging in the assumptions that your live load is thrice your dead load. Okay, so this is the assumption. The assumption is your 3 times the dead load. The service live load is 3 times the dead load. Okay, therefore, plugging in, you have 1.2 times DL plus 1.6 times 3DL. You have this equation 6DL in terms of the load combinations, U2, 6DL in terms of dead loads. Okay, so comparing 1.4 DL versus 6 DL, okay, if you recall, pag sa demand, pipili tayo ng maximum. Okay, kapag demand, we will choose maximum. Okay, therefore, we'll be using the 6DL. Now, equating the demand to the capacity, you have your 6DL equals to 345. You get your dead load to be 57.5 kips. Okay, therefore, your 3 times dead load, that is your live load, is 172.5 kips. Okay, the question is asking what is the maximum service load. Okay, if you recall, the service load is just simply dead load plus live load. It's just simply 57.5 plus 172.5. You get 230 kips for the maximum service loads. Okay, so I think hindi naman siya mahirap. So may questions ba kayo, class? Clarifications for this problem?
None so far, sir.
Okay, I hope so. Okay. Situation 2. Okay, meron din nagkamali dito. So this situation 2 is almost the same to the design, the given example in design of tension members. So I wonder bakit meron pa rin nagkamali sa pag-solve for this type of question. Okay, WT 8 by 13, meaning you have your 8 by 13 WT section with A992 steel as tension member. Okay, the connection is for 7/8 inches diameter bolts. So as shown in the figure, compute the nominal block shear strength. Okay, so we have this A992 steel, we have your FY, FU, and the assumptions UBS. Okay, so given yung section, the answer is 134.063. Okay, how to solve for this type of problem. Okay, so kapag may block shear strength, the shear off is the magbibigay sa inyo ng least tawag dito least AGV or ANT. So meron nag-solve na ang ginamit ay assumption. Okay, ang ginamit niya ay ito. Ito yung mag-shear off. So parang ang ginawa niya this time ganyan. Yan yung ginawa niya. Okay, this is his assumptions. His assumptions is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so ito yung assumptions niya. Assumptions niya ay ito yung mag-shear off. Okay, this ito siya. Yung ito yung area na yan. Ito yung matatanggal. Ito yung magba-black out this time. Okay? Versus this time, paano kung ganito? This time. And versus this one. Okay? Versus this one. Kasi kung ito yung assumptions mo, ang may iwan dito ay ang kapartner nito is this one. Okay. It's like ito, parang ganito. Ito yung may iwan na kapartner niya. And ito ang may iwan na kapartner niya is this one. Okay? So comparing this these assumptions versus this assumption, as you can see, class, this is 4 1/2. So therefore, ang natitira dito is less than 4 1/2. Okay? So 4.5 minus 7.825, that is 3.35 inches. Okay? So imagine, ito yung kinonsider mo, you're using this 4.5 inches and you use this assumptions na 3.35 inches. So use solving for A and V, AGV, A and T. I am very sure that this assumption, this assumption gives you the least value of A and V, AGV, and A and T. That is why these assumptions will be used. Okay. So kung sino man yung nag-solve ng this assumption, itong nasa taas, okay, you can also use that assumptions. However, by simply checking na sino dun yung magbibigay ng these A and B, AGV, and A and T, you can you can absolutely conclude that this portion will give you will govern. Okay, will govern. Okay, so and also by simply taking the logic of strength of materials, this portion, this upper portion has a greater area when compared to this portion at the bottom. Okay, that is why mas madaling ma-shear off itong nasa ilalim compared to nasa taas. Or in other words, it is easy to take this block compared to this block na nasa taas. Okay, so therefore, this is the block shear. Okay, ito yung mangyayaring block shear. This is the governing block shear. Okay, then for the solution, the shear areas for AGV is just simply take this total length. So again, your thickness is 0.25. You have this length 1.5. Okay, so you have 1.5 plus 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, apat na 3 inches. That is 13.5 inches. Okay, this time. This is 13.5 inches. That is why you have your AGB to be 3.375. Next, there are 4.5 hole diameter. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last bolt is the last hole is tear off by its half. Okay, so magti-tear off siya dun sa kalahati. Okay, therefore you have this area or AGV, which is this one, minus the 1/2 hole. Okay, there's 4.5 hole diameters. You have your 4.5, then the hole diameter is dB plus dB plus 1/8 is equals to dH. Okay, therefore you have this 2.25 square inches. And then for the tension area, okay, okay, so it's just simply ANT, which is 0.25. Okay, you have your 0.25 thickness times 7.85. You have the 7.85 minus your 4.5. Or this one is just simply 3. Na-solve natin kanina, this is simply 3.35 inches. Okay, so 3.35 inches minus 1/2 of diameter of the hole. So 3.35 inches minus half of diameter of the hole, you have this 0.5 times 1. Again, in 3D, ganito yung itsura niya. 2, 3, 4, then yung last is ka-half. Okay, this one, this one. Okay, ayan. Okay, this is the shearing area again. This one. This is ANT, and this is your, and this half area is your A and B. Okay, this one, this one. Okay, so meron kang force T over here. Okay, that is this one. Okay, again, you have your ANT to be 0.7125. This is, the thickness of this one is 0.25 inches. Okay, so for the FY and FU, you have 50 KSI, 65 KSI. Therefore, your RN is 0.6 FU A and B, UBS, FU A and T. You have this 134 kips. Then checking for the upper limit. Okay, checking for the upper limit, you have 0.6 FYAGB, UBS, FUANT. That is 148 kips. Then since your value of Rn is less than the upper limit, therefore we'll be using this 134 kips. That is why you have your Rn to be 134 kips. Again, the problem is asking na nominal. Okay, therefore no nominal, ibig sabihin no resistance factor or no factor phi or gamma kapag omega kapag AST. So this phi is for LRFD and this one is for AST. Okay, no factor of safety in other words. Next problem is this one. Okay, this is very this is the easiest problem in your quiz. Okay, using your grade 40 or 40 KSI 2 pieces 1 inch diameter cable. Okay, this one is serve as your tension rods. It was placed 2 feet from the ends. Okay, using this rigid boom. Okay, bottom determine if that tension rods are safe based on LRFD design philosophy. Okay, and box your demand, load, and capacity in your solution. Okay, then solving for this one. Okay, I know that kaya nyo nang mag-summation forces. So find the tension T that if you cut a section dito, lalabas yung tension T. Okay, lalabas yung tension T. And that tension T has two components. You have this 12 over 15T and 9 over 15T. Okay. Saan galing yung 15? It's just simply the hypotenuse of 9 and 12. Okay, so I know you can understand this horizontal and vertical components. Then again, using the finding the demand load and using the LRFD load combinations. Okay, you have this 1.2 dead load, 1.6 live load. Therefore, you will be using 14 kips. So therefore, this assumption is 14 kips kapag gagamitin mo siya ng LRFD load combinations. Okay. Sorry. Then summing moment at A equals 0 since this is a hinge connection. Okay. So summing moment at A, you have this P times 14 and this vertical components of T has only have the moments for A. Okay, therefore that is 9 over 15T times 12. Then solving for T, you have this 27.222 kips. Okay, meaning that the tension for the 2 pieces cable is 27.222 kips. Then solving for the capacity for the tension rod, if you're using LRFD design, okay, this one, yung tension rod natin in the module 4. Okay, so RN, FN, AB for P 0.75. Okay, given the FB which is 40 KSI, so therefore phi AB times FN, 2 pieces 1 inch diameter grade 40, 0.75 times 2 pieces times the area of the tension rods or the cables multiplied by the FN which is grade 40. Therefore, you will have 47.124 kips. Now, comparing the capacity to the demand, again, since the capacity is greater than the demand load, therefore, your cables or your tension rods is safe. Okay. And last problem, you have this channel bar C6 by 13 is used as a tension member. The holes are for 5 over 8 inches diameter bolts using A36 steel with Fy equals to 36 and Fu equals to 58. And the gross area is given and assume that U is equals to 0.85. Using LRFD, what is the design? Tensile rupture or fracture. LRFD again. Okay. So given yung setup, you have this staggered connections. Okay, if you have your staggered connections, therefore your AN is equals to AG minus area of the holes plus the correction factor, which is summation of S squared over 4G times thickness. Okay, sana naalala nyo to. You have this staggered connections. Okay, kaya kung meron letters dito, okay, that is why I have a letters. Okay, gusto kong magbigay sa inyo ng hint yon, yung mga loading path. So we have this loading path. We have this loading path. Okay, so considering the bolt hole diameter, that is 3/4 inches. So solving for line ABE, the line ABE is this one, ABE. Okay, so simply AN is equals to AG minus the area of the hole, which is T times W times T. You have this AN. Then considering the line ABCD, which is ABCD. So now you have a diagonal diagonal fracture. This one, diagonal fracture. Therefore, you will be using summation of S squared over 4G, or the correction factor. Okay, so you have this load T. This is your S, and this is your G. Okay, so that is why you have this TW times D for the hole at B, TW D prime for the hole at C. You have this 3.82, which is your AG, minus TW for the hole at B. Okay, this one is for the whole of B. This one is for the whole of C. And the correction factor, summation of S squared over 4G. Or we can rewrite this one as AG minus A holes plus summation of S squared over 4G times T. Okay, your AG is 3.82. So sorry, this one 3.82 minus the area of the hole. So area of the hole, you have how many holes? You have 2 holes. The hole for point B and the hole for point C. So therefore, you have two holes multiplied by the area of the hole, which is the area of the hole. Again, that is thickness times diameter. Okay, if you recall, the hole is assuming the hole is bearing in this one. Hindi yung hole talaga na pi over 4, just like the area of the circle. Okay, so this one, for example, this one. This is again the area that will be used. This area over here. Okay. This is the diameter of the hole, and this is the thickness. Okay, so that is why your 2 times diameter of the hole, which is 3/4, which is 3/4, multiplied by the thickness 0.437 plus how many diagonal fracture? You have this only the line BC. Okay, therefore you have S squared, which is 4 squared. You have 2 squared. Your S is 2 over 4. Your gauge distance is 3. Then your thickness is 0.437. You have this value 3.31. Now, considering the smallest net area, so comparing the line ABE versus the line ABCD, the smallest net area is 3.31. Therefore, the net fracture capacity is Phi times FUAE. Your A is U times AN. You have your AN, which is 3.31. This will be your net area. Then you have your assumptions for shear log factor, which is 0.85. You have the value Rn is equals to 122.387 kips Okay, ayan. So, do you have any questions? Again, this is designing
Sir?
tension member only. Okay, ano yan?
Tanong lang din po, sir. Ano po yung pinagkaiba, sir, sa ano, yung formula po na Wn equals to Wg minus yung diameter of holes minus number of stagger. Ano po yung
Ah,
pinagkaiba nun sa ano?
okay. Yung pinagkaiba doon, okay, for the sake of Mr. Ong, okay, the difference between that net width, okay, that is for net width, and this one is net area, AN. So net width is just simply your AN divided by the thickness. Kung mapapansin nyo class, lahat yan may thickness. Oh. Parang finactor out lang yung thickness. Finactor out yung thickness. Okay, yung sa AG mo may thickness din yan. Okay, so may thickness din yan. So that is net width. Okay. So in other words, they are just have a relationship, or they are almost the same, since net width is finactor out lang yung thickness. Okay? So parang kinuha mo lang yung haba. Kinuha mo lang yung haba na to. What is the length A to B? What is the length from B to C? What is the length from C to D? Net. Ibig sabihin yung dito sa may hole na to. Kung ano yung drawing ko na to. Kung ano yung nasa drawing ko na to. A to B, B to C, and C to D. Then, gagawin niya na lang, multiply niya na lang sa thickness.
Isa pa po, sir. Isang question pa.
Okay.
Ano po, sir? Yung sa thickness po, sir, kailangan po hanapin namin sa AIS po yan? Or ano? Kasi po, hindi po siya na-provide ng ano.
Hindi ba na-provide yung thickness? This
Opo.
one?
Wala po siyang ganyan. Kumbaga yung ano po, yung pangalawang picture po na ano.
Ito, this one.
Opo, wala po siya.
Okay, but you can easily check this C6 by 13. If you, let's try. If you, let's say, this one. C6 by 13 dimensions. This one, yung easily check in sa internet yung web thickness 0.437. So I think it doesn't matter if nalagay ko siya or hindi. You can easily if you really know kung ano yung gagamitin sa formula, you can easily check the C6 by 13 dimensions and properties. So I will consider pa rin to situation 3 problems.
Okay po, sir. Thank you.
Okay, pero sige, para hindi na rin kayo mahirapan, please message me if I have I forgot something to add, but you can check it on your own if you use this one. If you just search for the name of the section. Okay, any more questions, class, before we move on to designing compression members using Euler's formula?
Where you upload this discussion also, sir, in the Google Drive, sir?
Hello, what ano?
Hello, will you upload this discussion on in the G Drive also, sir? This one, the discussion of our quiz.
Right after our discussion, I just check their Google Drive time to time.
Sige po, sir. Sige po.
And I will I'm always uploading our discussion right after the meeting. Okay, so please check
sige po,
let's check the Google Drive time to time.
Sige po, sir.
Okay, sige, move on. Meron na lang tayong 40 minutes. Okay, so for module 6B, module 6B, example problems on Euler's backlink stress. Okay, again, this Euler's backlink stress is only the basis of designing an LRFD or yung recent codes. Okay, so many designers as today still using this theory. Even in the board exam, they still given these problems in the board exam kahit na makaluma na yung pagde-design ng Euler's backlink stress. Or this is an old way of designing Euler's backlink stress or the column in the backlink strength of the column. Okay. So in summary, in our discussion last meeting, okay, the critical compressive stress or the Euler backlink stress is given by this equation. So pi squared E over KL over R squared, this is your critical compressive stress. Again, this is stress. So if FCR is greater than Fy, your limit states is yielding. And if your FCR is less than Fy, the limit state is buckling. Okay. Then for critical compression or axial compression, basically stress times area is your force or your critical axial compression. So this formula is just derived from FCR times area of the cross section. So you have this pi squared EI over KL squared, or you have this pi squared EA over KL over R squared, where your R is square root of I over A. So you can derive this formula and you can derive this formula. Okay, so it comes from stress times area, FCR times area. Okay, your KL over R is the slenderness ratio, largest slenderness ratio. Your K is the end fixity factor. Your KL is the effective length, or sometimes denoted as L sub E. And your R is the radius of gyration. Okay, so given for the problem, for situation 1, so balik muna tayo sa SI unit. Okay, so a 3 meter long, a 36 steel column is pinned at the bottom and at the top, assuming your E is 200,000 MPa and its dimensions are 100 mm and 200 millimeters. Your E is 200 GPa. The modulus of elasticity of steel is 200 GPa. So determine the following: the mode of failure for the compression member, the mode of failure for the compression member if both ends are fixed. Determine the allowable load if both ends are pinned using a factor of safety of 2.5, and determine the allowable load if both ends are fixed using a factor of safety na 2.5. Again, we have 3 meter long and 100 by 200 dimensions. Okay, you have this 100, 200. And the first assumption is both ends are fixed. Okay, so that is why you have your fixity factor that is 1.0. Okay, then solving for letter A, according to the problem, what is the failure mode or mode of failure? So in order to solve for mode of failure, you just need to find the maximum slenderness ratio or the governing slenderness ratio. So solving for slenderness ratio in X, you have this KL over Rx, which is 1.0 times 3,000 over square root of I over 8. Your inertia is BH cube over 12. If you recall the inertia of square or rectangle is BH cube over 12. This is your inertia in X. And your area is BH. Okay, so you have this 100 by 200 cube over 12. Your area is 100 by 200. Okay, therefore your slenderness ratio in X is 51.962. Then solving for the slenderness ratio in the y-axis, you have this KL over Ry, So 1.0 times 3,000 multiplied divided by square root of iy over a. You have this 1.0 and 3,000 square root of the inertia in y. If you recall, the inertia in y for square is b cubed h over 12. Okay, so that is why you have this 100 cubed times 200 divided by 12. Okay, divided by the area is 100 by 200. Okay, so solving for FCR, which is the given problem, what is the mode of failure? So FCR is pi squared E over KL over R squared. So this is the governing slenderness ratio. This will be the governing slenderness ratio. Okay, so your FCR is pi squared E over KL over R squared is 182.77. The governing slenderness ratio is the maximum slenderness ratio for X and Y axis. Okay, so we will choose, choose maximum. Okay, this one. Okay, then therefore, your FCR is 182.77. Okay, if you recall, the FY for A36 is 248. So basically, how to convert KSI to MPa. So given the problem, your FY is equals to 36 KSI. To convert this 36 KSI to an MPa units, just multiply it by 1,000 and divide it by 145. So 36,000 divided by 145 is exactly Fy equals 248 MPa in megapascal. Okay, so since the Euler buckling stress is 182.77 and that is less than the yielding stress, therefore the buckling stress will happen first before the yielding of the cross section. Therefore, the limit state is buckling. So that is why you have this answer. Your limit state is buckling. Okay. Next problem, what is the limit state if both ends are pin? If you recall, the fixity factor if both ends are pin is k is equals to 0.5. Okay, then solving for the slenderness ratio in y and the slenderness ratio in x, you have this 0.5 times 3,000 square root of iy over a. So that is, you have this 51.962. So no need to solve for SRX because we all know that SRY will govern. Okay, so that is why SRY na lang yung sinolve natin or the slenderness ratio in y. Then solving for FCR, pi squared E over KL over R squared, you have the 731.068. Now comparing this critical buckling stress based on your Euler formula, that is greater than Fy, which is 248 MPa. This is greater than Fy, that is 248 MPa. Therefore, yielding will happen first, or the column will yield, and maybe the column will not buckle if hindi enough yung stability ng column. Okay, therefore, the limit state will be yielding. Okay? So parang ganun lang, check mo lang kung sino yung mauuna or what will happen first. If buckling based on Euler buckling stress or based on Fy given in the properties. Okay, so next problem is problem C. What if both ends are pin? What is the allowable load? So basically, you have your FCR times area divided by the factor of safety. That is your allowable loads using a factor of safety. So you have this FCR given in problem A, the governing FCR if both ends are pins. You have this 182.77 multiplied by the area divided by the factor of safety, you have this 146,2160 newtons. Then allowable load if both ends are fixed. So again, the governing stress is Fy since since yielding is the limit state of column if both ends are fixed. So Fy times area divided by Fs, you have this 198 4,000. Okay, so additional problem. Additional question, given these two allowable loads, okay, with the same factor of safety, we will choose this one because this will give us a lower value for the capacity. Okay. So next problem, situation 2, given in the past board exam, an 8-meter long steel column is pinned at top and fixed at the bottom. So the column is provided with lateral support at the mid-height in the weak direction. Okay, take note of this problem. According to the problem, the designer provided a lateral support at the mid-height for the weak direction. Okay. Using the Euler critical load PC equals to pi squared EI over KL squared, and the properties of the column IX is equals to 178.1 times 10 raised to 6, and IY is 18.8 times 10 raised to 6, and your area A is 82129 square millimeters. What is the critical effective slenderness ratio? What calculate the critical load PC? And determine the minimum length of the column for which the Euler's formula is valid if the proportional limit of the steel is 320 MPa. Okay, solve natin isa-isa. So given in the problem that the designer provided a lateral bracing for the weak direction. So again, this is the weak axis, Y. If you basically just check the inertia in X and inertia in Y. So as you can see, the inertia in Y is far smaller than the inertia in X. So that is why your inertia in Y is, or the weak direction is in Y axis. Okay, so this is the weak direction, the Y axis. So according to the problem, lateral bracing is provided for weak axis. So that is why you have this lateral bracing. Okay, so this is a column. This is wide flange assumption, like this one. So the bending for the weak axis will now be like this one. Okay, so magbe-bend siya ng ganito. Okay, so other the weak axis, kung get your right hand, okay, right hand rule. So get your right hand rule, then open your thumb, okay, then your thumb should be the same direction to the weak axis. Your thumb is the same direction to the weak axis. Then curl your forefingers. So that is the bending for the weak axis. So you have this bending. Okay. Therefore, using these assumptions, so if you check the direction in X, so if you check in X, so kung titingin ka sa X, if you check in the direction of the X-axis, you will see this height 8. And if you check for this for the Y-axis, you can see this length also. If you check in the Y-axis, okay, you can see this figure. You have this lateral bracing. In the X-axis, your lateral bracing is just simply a point. Okay, it's just simply a point over here. Okay, so in Y-axis, you have this lateral bracing. So that is why your lateral bracing for the length for the y-axis is divided into 2, since it is in the mid height, 4 and 4. So solving for the slenderness ratio in x, okay, KL over Rx, your K now, take note of the K. Your K is fixed and pin for x-axis, fixed and pin. Therefore, you have 0.7 times 8,000 over Rx, which is this one. Rx is square root of I over A. You have this 37.833. Now, solving for Ry. So, solving for Ry, again, the lateral bracing always provides pin connection. So, this is pin connection. So, this one is for the bottom part. So for the bottom part, you have this pin and fix. And for the upper part, you have pin and pin, right? So again, for the lower part, this lower portion, you have pin and fix. And for the upper portion, you have pin and pin. Okay, so solving for the bottom part, 0.7 times 4,000, that is fixed and pin. Square root of I over A, you have this 58.223. Then solving for the upper part, or the other half, this one, upper part. Solving for the upper part, you have now both ends are pin or pin-ended connection. This is pin, this is pin. You have 1.0 times 4,000 square root of I over A. You have this 83.176. Again, for all this slenderness ratio in X and the slenderness ratio in bottom part of Y-axis and the upper part of Y-axis, you will choose the maximum slenderness ratio. Therefore, we will be using this 83.176. This is the governing slenderness ratio. Then what is the critical Euler's buckling load PCR? So given the formula, this one, FCR times the area of the cross section, or just simply pi squared EI over KL squared. So you have this pi squared E, then your 83.176 squared times 8129. Okay, the 8129 is the area of your cross section. This one, I think given in the first problem, the area of your cross section. So I will be using the formula. Okay, what formula is this? This formula is pi squared E over KL over R squared. So since I have the slenderness ratio given in problem A, why not use this equation instead of this one? So that is why I'll be using FCR times area. So you have this pi squared E over KL over R squared times the area, which is exactly 2319 kilonewtons. So this in millimeters, this is in millimeters. Your E is 200,000. So divide it by 1,000, you get 2319 kilonewtons. Next is solving for the problem. What is the length? Okay, what is the length given that the Euler buckling stress limits is 320 MPa? So determine the minimum length of your column for which the Euler's formula is valid if the proportional limit of the steel is used as 320 MPa. Meaning, class, that the critical Euler stress should be equal or less than 320 MPa. So the question is asking, what will be the length of your column given the fact that the FCR or the Euler's buckling stress should be equal to the Fy, or equal to the yielding strength of your steel. So basically, just equate the Fy, or the proportional limit, to your Euler's buckling stress FCR. Okay, So solving for KL over R. So again, since the problem, since we all know that the governing slenderness ratio happens at this portion, okay, so that is why we'll be using this as your KL over R. So this will be the basis of our KL over R on the slenderness ratio. So square root of pi squared E over 320. Okay. So saan galing to? So simply derive lang dito. Okay. So this one should be KL over R squared times 320 is equals to pi squared E. So KL over R is equals to pi squared E over 320. Taking the square root of both sides, you have this equation. Square root of pi squared E over 320. Okay, next, your KL over R will now be 78.539816. So we know in problem 1 that the governing slenderness ratio happens at the upper portion. Therefore, that is your KL over R is equals to 1.0 times L over square root of IY over A is equals to the slenderness ratio computed based on the FCR, or your FCR is equals to your yielding, that is 320. Okay, so therefore your L, okay, your L is equals to 3.8 meters. So this is not yet the answer, since that is half the portion, or that is only at the upper part of the column. So your total column is 2 times 3.8 meters, which is exactly 7.6 meters. Okay, so in order for the problem to be under 320 MPa in FCR, just use a column height of 7.6 meters. Okay, so this is an example problem for the passport exam. Okay, here in the Philippines. We're taking the licensure exam here in the Philippines. Okay, then another example. A W12 by 50 is used as a column to support an axial compression load 145 kips. So the length is 20 feet and the ends are both pinned. Without regard to the load and resistance factors, investigate this member for stability. So the grade of the steel not to be known. The critical buckling is a function of the modulus of elasticity and not the yield stress or the ultimate stress. Okay, so given the problem, you have this W12 by 50. The properties is given. AG is equals to 14.6 square inches. Your D is 12.2 inches. Your BF is 8.08 inches. PF is 0.64. TW, RX, and RY. Then take note, class, this please take down this modulus of elasticity of steel. I will, if I say E steel, this is a constant value. So just use 29,000 KSI in English unit and use 200 GPA in SI unit. So paki-memorize na lang itong equation na to. Okay. So this is a constant value for the modulus of elasticity of steel. Okay. So for the solution, a W12 by 50. So again, the problem is asking what is the actual compressive load based on LRFP. Okay. So taking the minimum R or minimum RY. So ganito kasi yan may kabaligtaran yan. So di ba pipiliin natin, if you are basing in KL over R, you will choose maximum KL over R. If your basis is R only, you will choose minimum. Bakit? Because this is the denominator of your KL over R. So if you choose minimum R, you will get your maximum KL over R. There, this one is inversely proportional. Okay, so if you minimize your R or the minimum R, take the minimum R, your KL over R will be maximize. Okay, so choosing minimum R. Okay, so given the fact that R in y direction, Ry is minimum, therefore we can say that Ry is equals to 1.96 is the governing slenderness ratio. Okay, so 20 times 12, since that is 12 feet, 12 inches in 1 feet, so 20 is in feet. Okay, your R is 1.96, therefore your the K value is 1.0 since not given, okay, not given the support conditions of this 122.4. So pi squared EA over KL over R squared, the formula, you have this 278.9 kips. Because the applied load is 145 kips, this one, okay, you have this 145 kips. We can say that the column remains stable and has an overall factor of safety against buckling, which is exactly 278.9 divided 145 equals 1.92. Meaning, the demand capacity ratio, or sorry, the capacity to the demand ratio, this one is the capacity, and this one is the demand. Okay, so the capacity over the demand ratio is exactly 1.92. So you have this factor of safety pa na 1.92. Okay, additional problem, what is the Euler buckling stress? So given the formula pi squared E over K over R squared, or just simply PCR divided by area, you have this 19.103 KSI. Okay, for example 2, a steel rod with a diameter of 2.4 inches is pinned both ends with a length of 5 feet. Determine the following slenderness ratio, buckling load, and actual stress due to point load P. So for the slenderness ratio, again, your R is equals to square root of I over A. Then for a circular section, if you recall the inertia for a circular section, that is pi d raised to 4 over 64. And the area is pi d squared over 4 in terms of d, where d is the diameter. Okay, then substituting it into the equation of R, you get this R squared is equals to d squared over 16, or just simply R is equals to d over 4. So solving for the slenderness ratio, therefore 1.0, your L should be in inches because your R is in inches. Okay, this one is in inches. Okay, so you have this 100. Okay, then for the buckling load, you have this P sub E, so or P sub CR. You have this pi squared EA over KL over R squared. That is pi squared 229,000 for the modulus of elasticity. E pi over 4 times T over 5 squared. You have this 8.1 kips. And the actual stress is basically force over area. Okay. And for example 3, steel column has a 2 by 4 inches. Okay, rectangular cross section. It has a length of 10 feet with, again, fixed support and one ends free. Okay, so determine the slenderness ratio and the buckling load. So for a free and fixed column, so check your handout ng fixity factor K. For free and fixed, the K is equals to 2.0. Okay, so if you recall, if pag fix and free, the length of contraflexure or the length of curvature is twice. This is 2L. Okay, so that is why you have this K, which is 2.0, and your L will now be equals to 20 feet. Note that it is easy to observe that Rx is greater than Ry, so that the columns buckle about the y-axis. So if again your basis is based on R, okay, you will be using the R minimum or square root of IY over A. Therefore, that is 0.577. Okay, therefore, your slenderness ratio, L sub E over R or KL over R. Okay, so 20 feet times 12, that is K times L. In inches divided by 0.577, you have this 415.94. And for the buckling load, just plug in the formula. Okay, you have this 13.23 kips. Okay, so do you have any questions for Euler buckling stress? Okay, for the summary lang, it's for you guys. For summary, balik tayo dito. Just always mind this equation. Itong equation na to. This one. For the stress, you have this, and the limits, you have this one. For axial compression, you have this formula, 3 formulas. We have this 1, you have this 2, and you have 3. And choosing the slenderness ratio is the largest slenderness ratio. And fixicity factor K. Your KL is the effective length also. For the radius of gyration, you have this square root of IY over A. And basically, kapag meron kang lateral bracing, just look to the x-axis and look for the y-axis. And the lateral bracing always give you a pin connection. Okay? So lateral bracing always give you a pin connection. Okay, so no more questions, class?
None po, sir.
Okay. Isingit ko tong last module, module 7. Okay, module 7. Okay, wait. Let's discuss this. So we still have time. We still have 20 minutes or 18 minutes. So we can discuss last module 7. Okay, module 7. Okay, class. This time, module 7 or the AISC requirement for design of compression. So as of now, we all know that Euler buckling stress or the formula for Euler is the basis of design codes today. This is the basis of the design codes today. Okay, so the assumptions is the assumptions is you have this buckling. Okay, you have this buckling of column and you have this mode shapes n equals to 1. We derive based on the governing differential equations. Okay, then the AISC adopt that assumptions or adopt that theory and added lang yung mga additional requirements. Okay, so if you check the AISC requirements or your AISC 15th edition, I think I already uploaded it in our Google Drive. Okay, if you check chapter E, design of members for compression, this one. We have this E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, and E7. So for this class, okay, since this is a bachelor's degree class or undergrad class, we only discuss flexural buckling of members without slender elements. Okay, again, the flexural buckling is a general buckling. Okay, hindi siya local buckling. Okay. So flexural buckling of members without slender elements. So last meeting I discussed what is slender elements, pero hindi ko na define what is slender elements. Okay, so we also have this torsional and torsional buckling of single angles and members without slender elements. Okay, and we have the single angle compression members. Also, we have the independent provisions for built-up members and members with slender elements. Okay, so if you recall this in last meeting, the classification of buckling or of structural members is based on general buckling and local buckling. Again, for general buckling, we have this flexural buckling, or they call it flexural buckling, or basically it is the global buckling of a column. However, for local buckling, this will occur when the section has a slender element. Okay? Kapag may slender element mo, local buckling will happen. Okay? So, as a general rule, if the section has a slender element, local buckling will occur. Okay, so again, we have these two local backlings, buckling of the flanges or buckling of the webs. For itsura ng buckling of the webs is like this one. So this is the web. Maybe you have this local buckling over here when axial compression is applied. Okay, so if you apply load in your column, okay, and there is a local buckling on the web. Okay, so what is local buckling? Local buckling is a sudden deformation of a structural component under load presence. Thus, it has the effect of reducing the load carrying capacity of the columns. Okay, so para rin siyang ang mga gamit, 'di ba pag may gamit ka, kapag may gamit ka na may sira, may defect, okay, medyo mababawasan yung kanyang functionality. So parang ganito rin yung sa columns or sa steel columns or sa steel design. If the section has a slender elements, okay, the effect of that slender elements will reduce the load carrying capacity of your columns because there is a reduction in the stiffness of the locally buckled element. Okay, we call it as local stability. Okay, if your column has a local stability, meaning stable yung column or column or your section, it has a local stability. Therefore, no reduction will happen. Therefore, no local buckling will occur. Okay, if your section is not having enough local stability, there is a reduction to the load carrying capacity of your column. Okay, and maybe the local buckling will occur. Okay, or the local buckling will occur first. Okay, so how to know if there is a slender elements or there is non-slender elements. Okay, so how to know if your section has slender elements, basically. Okay, so there is, before we start to determining if our section is, if our section has slender elements, we need to understand what is unstiffened and stiffened elements. Okay, so for unstiffened, okay, unstiffened is elements that are unsupported only at one edge. Meaning, so for example, my section is channel bar. This is my section, channel bar. Unstiffened elements is elements that only one edge is supported. So for example, we have flanges. Okay, the flanges of the C-section, only one support. Okay, this element, this is the flanges. Okay, I think red color. This is the flanges of our C-section, and only one edge is attached. Okay, meaning one edge is has a support. Another example is the flanges of the W section. The flanges of the W section, just like a beam, if you recall, the beam. Okay, so for example, this the flanges of the W section has only one supports. Okay, this support. This time you have only one support. Okay, meaning if you have only one support, that is unstiffened elements. Therefore, we can say that the unstiffened element of W section and C sections are their flanges. Okay, their flanges. Next is the stiffened elements. Okay, the stiffened elements. So the stiffened elements is kabaliktaran ng unstiffened elements. Okay, and stiffened elements are elements that are supported at both edge. For example, the webs of the W sections or the webs of the C section. The webs of the C section has a support at this. This is the web. Okay, this is the web of the C section, and it has a support at the top, and it has a support at the middle. Meaning you have a connection of flange and web at the top and at the bottom. And same case for W section or I-beams. So for I-beams, okay, you have these two stiffened elements. For the web of the cross section, you have this 1 and 2. So that is the stiffened elements of a cross of a section. Okay, so you have this stiffened, okay, and you have this unstiffened. Okay. Okay, so classification of sections for local backlink. This time, how to know if our column has local instability or local stability, or our section has will experience local backlinks. So the elements of a section are compared to the limiting ratio lambda sub r. Okay, so we can say that our column or our section is non-slender. Okay, so for members subject to axial compression, sections are classified as non-slender or slender sections. So that's non-slender element section. So the width to thickness ratio of its compression elements is not exceed to the limiting ratio lambda sub r. And if the width thickness of the ratio compression elements exceed lambda sub r, the section is slender elements. Okay, so this is the width to thickness ratio lambda, and this is the limiting ratio. So if our width to thickness ratio is less than your limiting ratio, that is non-slender section, meaning there is local stability, and also there is no local backlink will happen, or no local backlink will happen because you have non-slender section. You did not exceeds the limiting ratio lambda sub r. However, for the case of a slender section, okay, if your width to thickness ratio is greater than your limiting ratio, you have a slender element, meaning you have local instability, and also there will local backlink will occur. Okay, local backlink will occur. Okay, so what is the limiting ratio lambda sub r, and what is the width to thickness ratio lambda? So we have this width to thickness ratio. So this is the limiting ratio for unstiffened elements, and this is the limiting ratio for the stiffened elements. Okay, so for the width to thickness ratio of unstiffened elements, unstiffened meaning only one side will only one edge lang yung may supports. You have this width to thickness ratio B over T, this B over T, B over T, D over T. Okay, the B over T for flanges is the half, okay, the half of the flange divided by the thickness. Okay, next one, the unstiffened elements of the flange of the W section is the flange. Okay, you have this B over T, okay, divided by thickness. Okay, this one, written what is the length of B. And the limiting ratio lambda sub r is given by 0.56 d over fy, this one, and this one. Then for the limiting ratio for stiffened elements, you can have this one, h over dw. So h is basically total depth minus your flange thickness minus the fillet. Okay, my fillet. You have this h. And you also have this and this one and this one and this one. Okay, so if you find out that let's say for example, you have this section, you found out that the stiffened elements is the web, right? So the stiffened elements is the web. This one's the stiffened elements. Found out that your stiffened elements or your web is slender, meaning is greater than lambda sub r, and your webs or this should be sorry, if the flange is non-slender, meaning that is lambda sub r, meaning that the local buckling will occur at the web. There is a local buckling will happen in the web. This one. There is a local buckling will happen to the web if your stiffened elements in the web is greater than lambda sub r or slender. Okay? So meaning if your kung saan may slender section, dun siya magbabakel. Okay, so as a general rule, if the stiffened elements or unstiffened elements has a slender section, the total cross section is slender. Okay? Kapag may isa lang na nag-slender section dito, isa lang kahit sa flange or kahit sa web, ibig sabihin lahat na yan ay merong local buckling will happen or meron siyang local instability. Okay? So a summary, so using this one, you can also check this a summary. So for the flange, for the W section, you have this lambda and the lambda sub r, lambda and lambda sub r. Okay, I have this one, lambda and lambda sub r. So for last problem before we end, our discussion. So last problem, investigate the local stability of a column with a section W14. 11:58 na pala. Okay, sorry. So next meeting we'll be discussing these example problems. Okay. So I will leave it to you for your reading assignment. Okay. So please read this example problem para pagdating sa next meeting natin medyo madali nyo nang masundan yung module. Okay, class. Okay. Thank you. Tuloy na lang natin next. Thank you. Tuloy na lang natin next week.
Thank you po, sir.